COP28 and Beyond, the Theatrics of Climate Action and the Shadows of Global Power. In the grand theater of global climate action, the COP28 World Climate Action Summit takes center stage, promising transformative changes to address the pressing issue of climate change. However, beneath the surface of the spectacle, there lies a narrative of theatrics, political maneuvering, and questionable agendas that warrant scrutiny. The COP28 summit, much like its predecessor, the Paris climate meeting, is often criticized for being more about political posturing than tangible action. While climate change is undeniably a real and urgent concern, skeptics argue that the summit serves as a platform for political grandstanding without substantive outcomes. The skeptics point to the fact that major polluters with significant influence over global politics often escape meaningful accountability for their environmental impact. A prime example of this dynamic is the imposition of carbon taxes, exemplified by figures like Justin Trudeau, who is associated with the World Economic Forum, WEF, and the City of London. Critics argue that the implementation of carbon taxes lacks transparency and accountability, creating an avenue for misuse and potential financial malfeasance. The question of how these funds are allocated and whether they genuinely contribute to environmental initiatives remains a point of contention. The argument further extends to the distribution of responsibility for environmental degradation. Critics contend that the burden of carbon taxes falls disproportionately on the public, while major polluters such as oil, manufacturing, and chemical companies evade their fair share of financial responsibility. This perspective raises questions about the effectiveness of such measures in achieving meaningful change. The parallel drawn between climate change and other global challenges, such as pandemics and wars, underscores a broader skepticism about the motivations behind organized initiatives. The notion that these crises are exploited by a select group of individuals for personal gain challenges the sincerity of global efforts to address pressing issues. Turning attention to the economic powerhouses, major investment players like BlackRock and J.P. Morgan's substantial investments in fossil fuels provide a stark contrast to the rhetoric of environmental responsibility. The sheer magnitude of these investments, exceeding $3 trillion in oil alone last year, raises doubts about a sincere commitment to transitioning away from fossil fuels. The Arctic and Antarctic initiatives further exemplify the narrative of resource exploitation under the guise of environmental concern. Critics argue that these regions are not being preserved for their ecological value but rather are targeted for the exploration of oil and other underground resources, emphasizing the economic interests at play. The assertion that the world is at a point of no return, driven by the financial motivations of corrupt leaders connected to powerful families, paints a bleak picture. The reference to a mysterious cabal deciding political leadership raises questions about the transparency and integrity of democratic processes globally. In conclusion, while climate change remains a critical issue demanding urgent attention, the skepticism surrounding global initiatives like COP28 suggests a need for greater transparency, accountability, and a genuine commitment to address the root causes of environmental challenges. The intertwining of economic interests, political theater, and accusations of corruption underscore the complexity of the global response to climate change and the importance of fostering public trust in these efforts.